Hey everyone, I'm just checking out a assignment that you guys can possibly do with some exponential equations and the pandemic that's going on. So I wanted to show you, I shared a document with you guys, and it should be shows the date and the confirmed cases. We should see that this is growing exponentially, as you've heard in the news probably. So what we can do is, remember, exponential equations have multipliers. And so what we can do is find the daily multiplier. So if you look, column A is our date, column B is our cases. I just decided to start February 14th because before that it was relatively low numbers. So what we can do to find the multiplier is we can click on cell C5. And to find a multiplier, remember, we take a y value and divide it by a previous y value. So we can click on cell C5, press the equal sign, a parenthesis, and then we want to say what we're dividing. So again, we're dividing a y value, which in this case would be the cases for February 15th, which is 15, and divided by the previous y value, which would be the 15 above it, which would be B4. So click on B5 divided by, click on B4, close your parentheses, and then you can press enter. And if you notice, the multiplier is 1. Now, we could type that in every time, the y value divided by the previous, or we can just click on cell C5 and that little box pops up, and we can drag it all the way down, and that'll copy that formula down the whole way. So this shows our multiplier for all of these days. Now, these multipliers are really long. If you want to make the decimal a little smaller, you can click here where it says decrease decimal. And I made it a little too small, but I'll make it like 3 decimal places for now. So you can see those are our multipliers. To find the percent increase, however, which might be more beneficial for us to learn, remember, to find the percent increase, we always change that multiplier to 100%. Sorry, we change the daily multiplier to a percent, and then subtract 100 away from it because the 100 is what we originally started with. So to do that, we're going to click on cell D5, push our equal button again, a parenthesis, and then we'll click on cell C5. Remember, we have to change that. Right now, that's a decimal, so we have to change that to a percent. So we multiply that by 100, close the parentheses, and then we'll put minus 100, because we're subtracting 100% from it. And when we press enter, this would be 0. So that makes sense because our percent increase from 15 to 15 was 0%. We didn't have a change. Again, we can click on cell D5, click on that little box at the bottom, drag it all the way down, and that would copy the formula down. And we'll see our percent increases each time. Now, again, these decimals are really long, so I'm going to shorten these decimals to 2 decimal places. So you can see from February 15th to February 20th, there was a 0% increase each day. But then all of a sudden, there's a big jump, 133% increase. And as you look at currently, the most recent statistics are showing roughly about anywhere from 30% to 40%. This was a big day, 75%. That might have been when they started testing more often. But again, these are now percentages of the increase each day. If we do want to graph this to see, we can graph it. So what I would do is highlight the days you want to do. So let's highlight cell A4 to start, scroll over to B4 and scroll all the way down. So we're highlighting all the dates and the case numbers. Okay, then we go over here to insert chart. And you may have to scroll up a little bit here on the side. We can make it a line chart, and you can see that it is an exponential growth equation. It has our date labeled, our x-axis labels date, y-axis labels cases, and we have all of our dates and our cases up here. If we want to find an equation for that, we can click on the line. You have to click on the line, make sure we click on the line. If you don't click on the line, it's not going to work. And click on a point, specific point actually. And then scroll down where it says trend line. This is not a line, it's not linear, so we can't use a linear trend line. We have to make it an exponential trend line. So change it to exponential. And then go down here to label, and we can say use equation. And so this, those of you that are in my honors class, we talked about compounded continuously, that PE to the RT. So that's what the equation is in the form of. Those of you not in my honors classes, all you really have to realize is that this number, 0.294, the number in front of the X, is your rate of increase every day. That's the rate as a decimal. So we'd have to multiply that by 100 or move the decimal 2 places over. So roughly since February 14th is when this data was started, our daily percent increase average has been 29.4%. Because again, I move that decimal 2 places to the right. If you want to kind of look at how it's more recently increasing, then make a new chart and start highlighting newer days. Maybe if you just want to look at the increase since March 1st, so highlight March 1st all the way down the dates and the cases. And you can then do the trend line and see how that percent has changed. So just found this interesting. You can kind of apply this to a real life situation. Unfortunately, we're going through this right now. Stay safe, everyone.